Nicolás Maduro Moro today, along with Celia Flores, stands as the global symbol of unwavering resistance, of profound loyalty, and of true bravery. They were forced to come with a disproportionate force.
Because he did not sell out, he did not give in. And when the topic of loyalty is brought up anywhere in the world, people will speak of Nicolás Maduro as a man who was firm and loyal to the Venezuelan people and to the legacy of Commander Chavez. He's a man with his head leaning forward, looking up at the ceiling.
With his faith remaining completely intact.
I believe that we must come out of this meeting today with a consensus document signed by each and every one of us, and which, acting completely independently than due to the international organizations of the world in Venezuela and throughout the world, and to establish commission from right here and to solicit assistance so that, well, we can go to all of these places, to Geneva, to Vienna, and to New York. The United Nations has headquarters in Kenya, Amsterdam, and The Hague. To the parliaments of the world, and to introduce it as the lawyers of Venezuela denounce the aggression and the kidnapping of the head of state. International law is currently in a state of agony. The global balances established after 1945 have been shattered, and I firmly believe that it is the solemn duty of Venezuela and of this significant movement that is being born here today to raise its voice loudly in favor of peace, just as the song says.
Nicolás Maduro Moro today, along with Celia Flores, stands as the global symbol of unwavering resistance, of profound loyalty, and of true bravery. They were forced to come with a disproportionate force.
Because he did not sell out, he did not give in. And when the topic of loyalty is brought up anywhere in the world, people will speak of Nicolás Maduro as a man who was firm and loyal to the Venezuelan people and to the legacy of Commander Chavez. He's a man with his head leaning forward, looking up at the ceiling.
With his faith remaining completely intact.
A legal framework, a framework for action, a delimitation of global international relations based on the United Nations Charter. There is no valid argument that supports the thesis of being able to kidnap a head of state.
Because we will be talking about the fundamental aspects of the issue, resulting from the destruction of one of the most fundamental and crucial elements that are absolutely essential for maintaining the global order.
It's precisely about the matter of stability.
A lot is riding on this. The game is being played.
If we decide to resort to the law of the strongest and the most powerful, and the one who possesses nuclear weapons, or if we uphold and return to a world where it is the law, where it is the word, where it is diplomacy, where it is dialogue that establishes our future.
Today, Nicolás Maduro and Celia Flores, believe me when I tell you this, I say here, symbolize heroism on a global scale throughout the entire world. They represent in a living way
All of the struggles of the world.
Of the peoples who are currently facing oppression and who are actively fighting for their freedom and liberation.
It is truly something unbelievable. Even if they wage all their dirty wars, they will never be able to win.
The Constitution of the United States of America was violated there. That limits a president's war power. First, why should the United States be at war with any country? Venezuela was not at war with the United States nor with any other nation. Second, the limitation that Congress must previously grant permission that did not occur. Instead, there are absolute contradictions.
Even from the Republican Party's caucus.
It was violated, as we already know.
One, a fundamental principle, as I have stated on numerous occasions, which is the principle of absolute personal immunity that a sitting head of state possesses. Nicolás Maduro was elected president on July 28, 2024.
May this nation remain steadfastly on its path towards a future of true prosperity in God's name. Never in all of history, in those years, we could have imagined everything that history had in store for us. They never would have told me when I was 5 or 6 or even 10 years old that my dad was going to be president, and I wouldn't have believed it. It would have been a joke because my dad has been the president of the republic who did not want to be president. He became president because Chavez said, oh, it's your turn, Nicolás. But then, and because the people elected him 3 times for the position of president.
All of the policies regarding transportation. But what about those who are just moving about in that area?
Yesterday, we received a message from him and from her. They tell us that they remain steadfast and strong, that they clearly understand the significant role in this struggle that they are called upon to play, and that they possess a clear conscience and their unwavering faith is firmly placed in God and in the people of Venezuela.
They trust Delcy and the team that is currently leading the effort.
And that they truly have confidence in us.
That was the message they sent us yesterday.
The struggle, this arduous and challenging journey that is only just now truly beginning. The struggle.
We need to remain united. Let's not allow anything to divide us.
It's clear they're going to try to create division. It's absolutely certain they will try to say things to confuse the people. When that happens, political clarity,
achieve ideological clarity and to seek reliable sources of information.
Aerial, a portable and telephonic system, an aerial tramway, rural transportation.
I kept asking myself about those truly terrible hours of January 3rd. God, give me a sign. And God spoke to me through the voice of my father in my head saying, what should I do? And he told me, join the people and join my team. Because that's what I would have always wanted for you. And we are making the right decision.
The world is watching in disbelief as Washington asserts control over Venezuela's government and oil resources in what critics call a brazen assault on sovereignty. United States President Donald Trump has now posted an image declaring himself the acting president of Venezuela amid a dramatic U.S. military offensive and the capture of the Venezuelan leader. The image appeared linked to recent events in which U.S. forces launched a large-scale strike on Venezuela, seizing President Nicolás Maduro and his wife in a military operation that has shocked the international community. Trump has since maintained that the United States will run the Venezuelan government until a safe, proper, and judicious transition can be achieved, drawing sharp criticism from foreign governments and rights groups.
And you have total safety, total security. One of the reasons you couldn't go in is you had no guarantees, you had no security, but now you have total security. It's a whole different Venezuela, and Venezuela is going to be very successful. And the people of the United States are going to be big beneficiaries because we're going to be extracting, numbers of, in terms of oil, like, few people have ever seen, actually. So you're dealing with us directly. You're not dealing with Venezuela at all. We don't want you to deal with Venezuela. American companies will have the opportunity to rebuild Venezuela's rotting energy infrastructure and eventually increase oil production to levels never, ever seen before. When you add Venezuela and the United States together, we have 55% of the oil in the world. The United States is #1. We have them drilling. Drill, baby, drill was my campaign. And Doug and Chris, I think we're setting records on drilling right now and taking oil without Venezuela. That's how we're getting the oil prices down. The plan is for them to spend, meaning our giant oil companies will be spending at least $100 billion of their money, not the government's money. They don't need government money. But they need government protection and need government security that when they spend all this money, it's going to be there so they get their money back and make a very nice return. The plan is for them to spend at least $100 billion to rebuild the capacity and the infrastructure necessary.